So, Kamen Rider Geats is now over. Time to talk about it. Hello and welcome, my Kitsune Leafs. Yes, Kamen Rider Geats definitely is over, and that is no surprise as every season only goes on for a year-ish. And ultimately, my thoughts about the show, yeah, mostly I did enjoy it a lot. There were some things I did not like as much, but we will get to those as well. First things first though, let us talk about the characters. First, of course, there is Kamen Rider Geats himself, Ukyo 8. And yeah, I generally enjoyed him. He was cocky, but definitely in a positive way. In a way that it's like, yeah, he's a bit of a conceited guy, but he has a certain sympathy to it. You would like having him around. Because while being as conceited as he is, he did have his heart at the right place and wanted to help people. He just was like acting kingly, you could say, but also knightly on top of that. Which is a good character trait, and I wouldn't mind having a character like him again. In 2 or 3 seasons, because don't do too many repeats of character types. That's not a good thing. Kamen Rider Tycoon, or Keiwa Sakurai, as some people call him for some reason, is just my favorite character. He's just a piece of gold. He's such a good guy, and yeah, at one point not as much of a good guy anymore. The point where he turned evil, I mean, I understand that it is because his sister got killed, but I found it a bit cheap that he threw away all his convictions at that point. Like, I get that he's mad, but it didn't really fit his character all that well to turn evil just because of this death. It was like making all his thoughts he stated throughout of helping people, simmer those down to like, they weren't that important to him in the first place or something. Again, it was an understandable reason, but still, I think for his character development until that point near the end, it didn't make much sense. But he looked damn cool in that new outfit. Neon Kurama, or Kamen Rider Nago, was a great addition, and yeah, I am saying we do need more female Kamen Riders in main roles at that. Revise did that with the sister, Sakura, which was good. Kamen Rider Jan was awesome, and Kamen Rider Nago was also pretty cool. And out of the fight for a lot of time, sadly. Like, I don't know, every time it was like, oh shock, one of our main guys is out. 90% of the time it was her, at least it felt like that. As in like, yeah, we will add a girl, but stop the butts. Except if they're cute butts. Keep those in. Michinaga Azuma, or Kamen Rider Buffer, was also good. He becoming an evil guy was much more understandable. Though I disliked a bit about his wish thingy. Like wanting to eradicate all Kamen Riders because the Yamato killed his friend? Who wasn't even really dead, and he could just wish him back to life in any way. It was like, okay, you do realize that the most of the Kamen Riders, or at least a lot of them, do good, right? It's the same stupid situation that the stupid... I'm not sure if I should say the phrase on YouTube, honestly. Cops doing bad things, and you put all cops into that basket. There are still good cops out there. Don't blame them for the failures that others do. That is highly unfair. And the same thing he did. However, they pulled this off in a nice way. It was kind of a stupid wish. But let's face it, Michinaga wasn't the brightest guy. I'm not gonna say he was stupid, but like... he has a lot of things he needs to learn still. And him growing closer... growing closer, you could mix them to growing. Oh well. To Ace, at the end, oh, that was kinda nice. Their bonding felt really genuine and enjoyable, yeah. And finally, on the good side, or not really, we have Daichi Isuzu, or Kamen Rider Nudge Sparrow. I just dislike this character, quite honestly. Yeah, I mean, he served his purpose, but in general he wasn't really that interesting, and I didn't care for him much. And even at the end when he got to our side, it was still, yeah, if they had never shown him again, I would probably never even thought about him. So it's that kind of character. Win! Hallelujah! Or Kamen Rider Punkjack is an evil rider. In the beginning, kinda. First off-ish. Or maybe he never was. His origin is a bit weird, especially given that origin special of him that showed him to be like always against the DGP? What was it? Desire Grand Prix. DGP. Yeah. Let's count him as one of the evil guys, quote unquote, because he worked for them, at least. I liked him a lot. And I loved that he was basically part of the main team for a bit, even though not really through to the end. We only had the 4. But that was fine, yeah. He was a great guy. I enjoyed him a lot. And if you didn't see that special, watch it. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's fine. It's a fine special. Okay, the villains. I could go over them, one after the other. But I kind of have to say the same thing about them all. I think they were okay. Beroba was a bit annoying, and that frog guy was a bit disappointing that he just turned into a villain. I thought he was more of a supporter, for reals, not for the DGP, but oh well. Other than that, at the end they just threw new villains at us that we didn't even get the time to really know about, and then Girori turned good because he wants a good show, so helping to destroy the show did not give him the good show. Yeah, the villains weren't the strongest part of this show, which is fine by me. I'm always hero characters. I want to see those in interesting. They served their purpose, and yeah, that's it. Also, yes, there are a lot, let me rephrase that, a ton of other characters that appeared throughout the show, but I'm not gonna talk about every one of those because most of them I don't even remember. They were throwaway characters for that round of the tournament, and most didn't even stay for like 2 minutes, so yeah. I did like, though, that they included them. Like, making the DGP this big battle between Kamen Riders needed them to include a lot of Kamen Riders. And they did. Most of them being palette swap of others. But, okay. The only thing I think about that, yeah, you would need to, like, physically make a new outfit anyway. So, maybe tweak their design a bit more than just the colors. But hey, I get why they didn't do that. It makes sense. It's expensive making these costumes and designing them. And yes, not even the material costs alone, but the design in general that needs to be drawn and everything and then put into form. it is totally understandable why they didn't do more of that for throwaway characters like this. But yeah, I like the inclusion of them. Speaking of the individual rounds, yeah, there we have a bit of a problem, honestly. I enjoyed the rounds themselves way more in the beginning, where they were about solving riddles or trying to have like a sports match against the Yamato and stuff. Sadly, along the line, I think it was around the third DGP or something, maybe even the second already, it became more and more battle-focused. Which, yes, Kamen Rider is a battle-focused shonen show. Have battles. I wanna see battles, of course. But you could, like, have something around those battles that still has this Grand Prix sports festival thingy around it, right? And sadly, they dropped the ball with that a bit. Though I gotta say, even with that, even if it could have been so much more, I still did enjoy the show a lot. For the most part. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Keiwa becoming evil. It just didn't make much sense with his character and character development to that point, even though his sister died. Poor Buffer, I have to say. Being angry at him, I can understand a bit, but he did not know. He just slayed a Yamato, and suddenly Yamato being Keiwa's sister. Oh. Oh dang. Whoops. And, well, I did like the psychological struggle that Buffer had after that, because, yeah, he wanted to get rid of the Kamen Riders, but not kill the persons in the suits, just getting rid of the concept of Kamen Rider. Getting rid of the Yamato, because they are evil, or were evil, if we're going by the last episode. And that's not a bad thing inherently. And then suddenly, I killed a Yamato! Oh, that's a human. That is a shock, and they played that out really well. What he learned by that? Well, let's talk about the end of the show. So, with all the things our heroes learned, Geats died in the end. That is technically not that true, honestly. It's more like he was moving on from being a human to a deity. And a deity doesn't need the body, right? And I think that ending was really good. And now listen. As much as I like Revise or other Kamen Rider shows, a lot of times when it comes to Kamen Rider, the last few episodes always were kinda underwhelming to me. They were like, that's the end you're going with? That's kinda lame. Geats not so much. I really liked the idea of it. First off, for example, Dom Brothers made it so that Taro did not remember being a Dom brother. Which, in a vacuum, is fine. But you're gonna do crossover movies and even crossovers in the show itself at one point anyway, where you would need to bring him back. So having an ending like this, no, he will be brought back in some weird way anyway, so why do it like this in the first place? Plan ahead is what I'm saying. With Geats though, yeah, he's a deity, and that has some problems. We'll get through those after I finish this sentence. He can still come back as Kamen Rider Geats. There's no problem there. It's not like he stopped existing. He still does exist and can easily come back. The aforementioned problems, though, he is a deity, so why shouldn't he be much, much stronger than all the other riders in that so far not existing crossover thingy? He, especially as he just can create and form the world at his will, should be the most powerful Kamen Rider ever. And they have to ride around that a bit, but I think that's a much more logical thing you could write in than, like, oh, yeah, it was a good thing that he lost his memories, but not anymore. Just for a bit. Which just would diminish Don Brothers' ending, which was a bad ending anyway, but we're not here to talk about Don Brothers. I have my review for that. But yeah, and while we're at the topic of memories, everyone lost their memory of all the things that happened. Or did they? Because, I don't know. They kind of left it open if they really remember or not. And it might just be that they do not remember. But the way they did it, if it was the intention that they did not remember being Kamen Riders, the way they did it is that they still remember the stuff they learned while being a Kamen Rider. So, even with the loss of memories of what happened, which I don't believe they did. I believe they do retain their memories. But let's say they did lose them. They still kept their character growth. And that is such a good way to go around that. I always hate it when shows do the reset button. Like, for example, Troll Hunters, which was a great show on Netflix. Watch it. But the ending of that movie was just like, oh, we're going back in time and nothing of this ever happened. So all character development was down the drain? Basically, it was all for nothing? That is so dumb. I hate that. Geats, however, did handle this much, much better. By having them at least have their character growth. Especially shown by Michinaga saying the food-related things that Ace said to him. Like, eating together is more fun and everything. And on top of that, we have seen some people from the future. Like Kyun being the camera manager of Neon. Which, now that I think about it, is Neon still living at home now? She gets along with her family, after all. Huh. Who knows? But yeah, that was such a good idea to do that, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah. All in all, Kamen Rider Geats was a great show. And it might not be my favorite Kamen Rider season. That would still be undecided. Double is pretty high up. But so is Den-O. Both were great shows. Double also had a good ending. I digress. If you try to get into Kamen Rider and for some reason watch this before watching any Kamen Rider season, especially Geats, I spoiled the heck out of you right now. But I will recommend Geats. Let's do it like this. If someone asks you what season they should watch to get into Kamen Rider, tell them to watch Geats. That's a good entrance point, I would say. Though, watching Geats and then the older ones, maybe that might be a bit wonky, but that depends on person to person. So, yeah. Kamen Rider Geats was good. It was really good. It was very close to great, even. Great being the highest praise I could give. Okay, the highest praise I could give is it being King Oja, but that's a different thing for a different video. So, those are my final thoughts on Kamen Rider Geats. Now looking forward to Kamen Rider Gotchard, which, well, from that one trailer looks pretty good, so I'm hyped for it. But we will see that. I will give my first impression of those probably around first 3 episodes or something. Maybe the first episode, depending on how it turns out, in another video. See you there. Oh yeah, we have to do an outro. So tell me, what are your thoughts about Kamen Rider Geats? Tell me down in the comments below. And also, while you're at it, fire your Foxy Magnum at the like and subscribe button, as well as the little bell, to keep updated whenever I upload a video for you. And also do not forget to check out the links in the description to my Twitter, Instagram, and Discord, where I post stuff, keep you updated, all the good things, as well as to my Twitch, where I live stream every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I hope to see you over there as well, and until next time, bye-bye!